Hey everyone, how's it going? James from Tin Robot Games here. Oh man, I wasn't planning on doing another live for probably another week, but you have certain days where just the stars and the moon and everything align and stuff arrives at your door, and it's like, okay, now we're going to talk about it because it is timely with what the last update was. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, after I'm done this update, which is going to be quick because Ahsoka's starting soon, is I'm going to splice this together with the update I did is yesterday, I think, or the day before. So when we put out our September update to all the backers of Cities of Venus, we have all of the Cities of Venus content kind of in one stream. So the first thing I'm going to go through is something I've been working on the side that I totally didn't expect to have a physical sample to sign off on for like another month. I didn't think this was going to be in time for Essen. I was trying to get this done in time for Essen, which is the largest conference in the world, of course, in Germany for board gaming. We're going to be there in the second hall, and encourage people to come by and see us. And we're going to be selling some Nutty Squirrels of the Oakwood Forest there, demoing it, as well as showing people Cities of Venus, and then they can go online and do late pledges if they want. One of the things we wanted to have in time for that show was the add-on that we have in this particular campaign. So just a quick flashback to when we did our campaign. Back to the first 72 hours, you got the first player marker for free. We had so many people that either jumped in on that or had end up ordering it that it just made sense for our backers to include it in the game. Not only would it enhance the game for everybody, because we felt this is something the game really should have had for everybody, just enhance the experience. But we also, in running the math, adding this into the box afterwards as an add-on adds that much height to your box, which then adds more packing material so everything ships properly. It actually increases the cost of the shipping. So by giving this to everybody right from the start and including it in the box, that way it fits in the actual main game box, we can get our shipping down and optimize it. And so that was a plan for that. But we didn't want to leave those who had backed us in the first 72 hours as an incentive out in the cold. So we came up with this other cool thing, which was Pilot's Wings for Cities of Venus themed Pilot's Wings, or Commander Wings that we're calling them. And we actually, I think we're calling them Presidential Wings. So the Presidential Wings. So you win the game, you get to wear the wings. We want to have those as a free thing for those who had backed us in the first 72 hours, because they're getting this. I mean, they're benefiting because they're still getting this for free, but they get that in addition as a thank you for the first 72 hours. Still made it available to everyone else to buy if they want it as an add-on, so that it's not something that you can't get, because I know people sometimes get upset if there's something that's hyper exclusive in a game, ends up on eBay at a stupid, crazy price, and that's not fair to everyone else. So anything we add on, we still want to make available that other people can still get, but they have to purchase it. So these Presidential Wings we had designed, and I had it kind of like mocked up, like through Photoshop and so forth, to be able to create these wings. And I had been dealing with different pin companies, and I just decided, you know what, we should probably order them now. This might take a little bit longer. We're talking about like zinc alloy. It's a custom piece. By the time they ship them to us in the back and forth and sign off, this is probably going to take a while. So it'd be good to start that now. And so we started it right away. And the intent was that hopefully we would at very least have the initial samples that we sign off on at Essen, that we could show people at Essen to say, hey, this is something you're going to get if you want to get it as an additional add-on. I didn't expect it to happen as fast as it did. It happened laser fast. And if I could remember the name of the company, I would give them a shout out. I think it's A8 or something like that. It's phenomenal. These guys move fast. The communication was impeccable. It was just great. Often I've had issues in the past with communications with suppliers. This is a supplier I 100% use again. They're fast. They get exactly what I was looking for, and they were able to come back and provide kind of visual mock-ups. Here's our 3-dimensional rendering. Are you cool with that? We're like, yeah, it's good. I said I need a physical sample. In fact, I need at least 2, so Adam and I can both wear it at Essen. So today at my door, guess what arrived? The presidential wings. So let me just hold this out here like this. Let me see if I can get that on camera. There you are. All 3-dimensional zinc alloy, so it's brass and then plated in zinc alloy. We didn't do enamel in here. This is actually a UV print. It's a different technology, and the reason we did that is because then this can be, the actual glyph, the Seas of Venus glyph, can be raised. If I did enamel, then that would be smooth, and it comes across a little bit like, if you've ever made stained glass in like an oven, like homemade stained glass, like these little kits, and it kind of looks melted and kind of doesn't always just look sharp and crisp. UV printing allows you to do sharp and crisp. So we decided to go with the UV printing on the black so that glyph stands out. We only had one correction. Oh, Lisa Lamb. Murph just joined. Good God. There's a name from the past. Happy to have you. Thanks for joining. Endo Girl as well. Melanie and Demigod7. Michael, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so we were super excited by that. And people that know this glyph know that it's basically a representative of our solar system, right? So you've got the sun. If I can hold it, I can never get my angles right. There. The big circle is the sun, and then it shows our the plane of our solar system. You've got Mercury, which is a solid dot. Then you've got a hollow dot, I believe. Sorry, Mercury is hollow. Then you've got Venus, which is solid, to represent that's where this story is taking place. And then you got Earth, which is hollow again, and then there's the moon around Earth to the side of that. All of those are in this glyph. You can't even see it on camera. That's how detailed this is. But if I get it just right, oh come on, yeah, I think you guys get the picture. Trust me, it is detailed. Even the moon is there. It's like a pinprick, but it's there. Oh, I am so excited. On the back, we've got the double pins. So there's 2 options. One is we could do kind of like classic kind of bobby pin style, right? Where you click it under and slide it on, then click it on. Those kind of are a little more floppy on your shirt, where I wanted to have the double butterfly pins because these will like really anchor to your shirt and have it kind of like really stay on nice and crisp and sharp, especially if you have thicker clothing, less chance it's going to fall off. We could always also put it on the shoulder over here maybe. So we'll figure out where we're going to wear our presidential wings, but both Adam and I are going to be wearing the presidential wings. I was thinking about going a little bit larger, but I think if you go too big, then it becomes a little obnoxious. So I want to be big enough that you can see it and you get the glyphs and everything in there, but still elegant. So I couldn't be happier. So we are going to splice this in with the other video we did so that all of the backers of Seas of Venus will see the progression. So we showed the models on our last update with the ink wash, which makes these look super cool and detailed. And next we are got our pins. So things are moving, and thankfully, knock on wood, things are moving faster than planned. So the plan was delivering in October 2024. As I've said on several streams since, my goal is to deliver this in the summer. I think we're on track to deliver this in the summer. So keep your fingers crossed. I think we're going to do it. Okay. The other surprise arrived at my door today is something I've been working on with a new game designer who has a special place in her family, and that's my niece Megan. She's been very, very passionate about this game. This is something that I think sprung out of a conversation. We were talking about her rabbits that she absolutely loves, and I mean, she's a great caregiver to these rabbits, and she's got this great rabbit family that she takes care of. And these are rescues and stuff, and I won't go into the whole rabbit lore, but they're great rabbits. And so we're talking about it and be like, wouldn't that be funny to have like something where you're cleaning up after the rabbits? And we said, well, maybe it's like bunny drops. And we were having this conversation, and then 2 days later, she's like, okay, so I got this mock-up of bunny drops. And we were only having a conversation, and boom, just like that, she went and started creating a mock-up, and then that's evolved over the past several months. It's gone actually quite quickly for game design, but back and forth in play testing and having a lot of people play tested in our local meetups, and to the point where I thought it was ready to commission art. Right, so we had the very talented Cesar Delgado. I can never pronounce the last name. Ayala Delgado. I apologize if I butcher your name, Cesar. He did the artwork for Hamsters vs. Hippos. Commissioned him to do all the rabbit artwork, and Megan had created quite a number of rabbits. I think there's 32. And then worked obviously with the very talented Jay Bassan, who helps with pretty much all of our box artwork. And he helped polish the box. And then Game Crafter, who do amazing work, and we had them crank out a quick prototype. Rushed as fast as I could because I wanted to have this available for Essen, right? So we're going to be at Essen in 4 weeks, and it was tight whether I'd be able to actually have a physical sample. You can bring sleeved cards that you've made and cut it with scissors, but it is always better to be able to, welcome Lenny, well, it's always better to come with something as close to production copy as possible. So I rushed this. Now, I always love to talk about the blemishes because, of course, I made a big boo-boo. Megan didn't even notice it, so it's big to me because it makes my eye twitch as soon as I see it. And I'll go through it in a second. But this is the box. Bunny drops. And the game... it is right now we got 2 to 4 players because that's been play tested quite a bit, but we did get more cards made, so this could accommodate up to 6 players. So that's our next step, is just to play test the heck out of 5 and 6 player count just to make sure it's right. I'm going to show you some of the artwork because it's pretty fun. We got this kawaii style, which is what Megan wanted. And definitely like the vision she put towards that because kawaii definitely fits with this. I think this will do well in China. We're looking at maybe doing a Chinese Kickstarter on this product, but for sure this will be part of our small box campaign we do next year. And who knows, maybe we even do a small run and we just put a call out to anybody in the Tin Robot group, like everybody that follows Tin Robot Games. We got quite the email list now. Maybe we can push it out there and say, hey, who's interested in this game? We do a small run. But it is a lot of fun. To give the best description for those who are gamers, if you've played Point Salad or if you played Cat Lady, it's got that vibe to it. So there's, from the Point Salad perspective, the reverse side of the card. So objective one side and resources on the other. That we borrowed that mechanic from there. Although it's completely different, but that specific part of that game worked well in this. And then the Cat Lady, where you're picking, you've got a grid of 9, you're picking, 3 cards in a column or 3 cards in a row. We combine that with then grabbing objective cards with the header. So it's kind of like a merge of both of those with some other elements in to make it its own unique thing. But it's a light game, it's a fun game, and I'm going to show it right now. So this is Bunny Drops. All right. We have the little instruction booklet. I can't remember if I put the wild card in here. I was saying to Megan, I don't remember actually putting it in. Again, because I rushed this like crazy. So there's some stuff I know I got to add to the instruction booklet, but I want to have something I can show in Essen. Because again, we're going to be meeting with some localization partners there. But this shows you the grid on how you kind of set up the cards. On one side, these are cute. There's Tommy. You've got the rabbit, and at the bottom you have their diet. So this is what you have to feed that particular rabbit. On the flip side, you have everything from food. So there's some apples that you put towards the rabbit, to kale, and I think we got bananas in here as well. Carrots, of course, because they're rabbits or bunnies. And there's banana. And so you can pick, as you're picking rows and you're picking columns, you're going to have a rabbit come with each one of those grabs. And then you have to make sure you fulfill the diet of that rabbit. So now when you're picking future grabs, either a column or a row, you want to try to grab the food that's going to match the rabbits you've already collected or the ones you're going to collect. So you got this kind of balance of trying to get the right foods to match up the rabbits you've already kind of adopted. And for every rabbit that you fed, so if you've basically got something for each one of their diet requirements, you get a point per item in their diet. So it's very, very simple scoring. Any food you have left over that hasn't been fed to a rabbit, it counts as a negative score. Any rabbit that you haven't completely fed, even if they're missing just one item, you lose 2 points. And then intermixed amongst all this, and this is why the game's called Bunny Drops, is we have... I love it. You have these cards that get mixed in amongst. So as you're grabbing columns or rows, there's going to come a point where you're going to end up with rabbit droppings. So you're trying to feed these rabbits. Of course, they're pooing everywhere. And then you have to find a way to... Oh, and there's the wild card. You have to clean up after them. And the way you clean up after them is some of the columns on the rabbit side. If I can get the... There we are, focus. We will have a broom and dustpan. And you can take that as a header instead of taking a rabbit. So you take this with the 3 cards. And then for every one of these cards, as you can see in the pan, it cleans up to 3 rabbit droppings. So you want to have a balance of getting the right bunnies, fulfilling their diets, not having too much food left over. If you end up with poo, which you're inevitably going to end up with, then at least get a broom and dustpan to clean up. As soon as somebody, I think in a 4-player game, we said as soon as somebody gets to 6 rabbits, that triggers the end of the game. You finish out the round, count up your scores, and you choose a winner. The game doesn't it doesn't drag on. It's about probably 15-20 minutes. You can get through a game really quickly with 4 people. It allows you to play a couple rounds. Every time we play test this, we're usually playing 2-3 rounds of it before we switch into another game. Very easy to sort because, again, pink on one side, and then you've got, let's go like that, and then you've got the green on the other side. So the rabbit droppings and the food and so forth. So that is Bunny Drops. I can show you some more of the rabbits. Here's my favorite one. Megan was gracious enough to let me name one of the rabbits. And for people that know me, I've been trying to convince my kids every time we get a family pet to name it Chuckles. I am bound to call one of our family pets Chuckles. I haven't won that war yet, but in the games we do. So we got a Chuckles rabbit and a Chuckles bunny. In Catnip Auction House, we've got a Chuckles. One of the cats' names is Chuckles in that as well, which is cool. So I always love that. So I get a chuckle out of it, pun intended, I guess. So that is my mission. Anytime I have a animal-based game, we're going to get the name Chuckles in there somewhere. Show one more. This is Loki. This is another one of her rabbits. He's cute. And then I'm going to show the one that she knew she wanted, which was... Oh, we got to show Lyra, of course. This is one of her rabbits. I think that's one of her late rabbits. Unfortunately, this mother bunny that she rescued had a litter, and the runt was a little... unfortunately, was not fully developed, and he didn't last. He died after a few months, which is sad. My daughter's rabbit, which we lost a couple years ago, named after that one. So we try to design the rabbits to look a little bit like the actual rabbits that we know in our life, and rabbits either of people we know or rabbits that we have our own. And this is, of course, the one that Megan is always dealing with on a daily basis, her little Stormy. She calls him Stormy because he's got this kind of fur pattern in his forehead that looks like a lightning bolt. So there you have it, my friends. Very quick update, but I wonder why. Lisa's asking, wonder why what? I don't know what you're saying, wonder why too, but I'm sure there's a reason. Let's just say that. That's the update for today. I will merge this with the other one before we put it out on the update that goes for Cities of Venus. And Tin Robot Games as a whole, we have our update that will go out in September. Keep an eye out for that. Keep giving us your feedback. Love to get it. And we're going to keep you guys informed on our game progression. All of our games that we're working on. And as you can see, things are always working. Yeah, I just see Lisa's jumping in here. She's saying, no wonder they won't let me name the pet because I want to call it Chuckles. Chuckles is a great name. I love the name Chuckles. As you can see, our games are always at different stages, right? So as we are continuing to transition towards a publisher, official publisher, I mean, we've got 8 games now in the market. I still don't consider myself a publisher yet. We're still working our ways there. And I think that we're nearing in the official status of publisher at least as I would define it in my life. And I think that's when it takes over more than half of your time. Not quite there yet, getting there soon. But as part of that process, we have several games that are underway. We've got this mapped out for at least 2 years, and actually almost 3 years now. And so all those games are in different stages. And so I'm going to share those with you along the way. And you're going to see the good, bad, and the ugly. Here's the one ugly I forgot to mention. On the front of the box, look it down here. This makes my eye twitch. See this? So the tagline on this, which came from, we were playing with our good buddy Andrew Gilpin from Gilpin Games. He's working on a game we might publish as well. And it's we were talking about how the cards you kind of flip and you got this kind of flipperoo feeling to it. And he came up with the slogan Flipperoo and Bunny Poo. So we thought that was great. We put it on our box. So now it's a Flipperoo and Bunny Poo card game. And you got the 3 dots representing the poo down here. But this makes my eye twitch. The fact that I let that go to press without it being centered right here. Again, because I was rushed. Every single time, I guarantee when I rush a game, I miss something. I did this on Time Splicers. Set up for Game Crafter, again, rush it, which you got to pay a massive premium for Game Crafter to rush something to you. And when we had, there's these cubes you have for markers in that game, and there's 4 colors. And we had picked the 4 different colors, but then I didn't actually go in and put 4 of each. So I ended up getting 1 of 2 of the different color cubes when I should have had 4 of each of those. So I had to reorder them that came in with this game. Again, sloppy mistakes, but these are the things that hopefully you make them at this stage. And that's why I always love to have physical, tangible prototypes in my hand that are kind of like a retail version of the game, because it allows me to really go over with a fine-tooth comb and say, okay, how does it show? How's the presence? This has got linen finish. Is linen finish going to work on that, or is it going to give too much of a glare? Did I get all of the artwork right? Are there typos? Are there things we're missing out of the booklet? At least that's how my brain works, is I can usually pick those things out much easier when I'm physically looking at something that we've printed. So low risk when you're only doing 1 or 2 copies to look at. Bigger issue if you wait to the full production to discover those. So I certainly don't want to do that. But there you are, my friends. I hope you're having a fantastic night. Thank you for tuning in, and keep your eyes out for our September update.